Yes, Verge. Yeah, well, we've kind of been watching this recently, but it's very good to remind about this because these patterns can BART back up. Look at the RSI here. The RSI is holding very strong, and the RSI actually looks like it wants to break out and run. You can see the entire way, even from down here. The RSI. This was a bullish breakout, and look at the volume. The volume has been large in this entire area, which is conductive of a more bullish environment. And maybe we can see it better here. Like you can see the entire drop was on low volume, but the volume gets large after the big pump here, and the price keeps going higher, and we're consolidating here. So it does look like a buy, a spot buy here, because like look at the rise here. It looks like a spot buy because obviously futures is this could be very, very choppy. You can see just in here it's all very choppy and stuff, but if you're willing to withstand these chops, it really does look like it should go higher. So it is very good to point this out again and kind of remind and kind of keep an eye on it. There seems to be something here for sure. This is a bullish 2-week candle. I don't know if we're going to get the dips yet. Like if we look left on the chart, you can see there when it was breaking up here, it created that inside candle. It created the big candle, and then the wick, it created this candle in the inside bar type thing before mooning. Is it ready? Are we just about to create some sort of candle like this? Just let me change this a little bit. Is it ready to just do something like that, and then that's a 2-week candle, and then you get something like that? I mean, it's hard to say for sure. Let's look at a few other time frames to see if we can find anything. The 9-week is a very bullish candle. It's a very nice candle. It's a stop hunt of the range, stop hunt of here. It's probably a 3-month bullish stop hunt as well. It's a bullish engulfing. This is a bullish quarterly stop hunt, as you can see here. That is, is this going to continue and have a large quarterly candle? There's still 6 weeks left, or more than 6 weeks, 7 weeks left. You can see this is a bullish 6-month stop hunt right down here, and we're getting that. Is it going to create a bullish engulfing candle, or does it need a new year, to do something like that, right? All in all, though, it is bullish, and it does look, very nice. Here's an important fact, I think. This is a telling thing, that of course it could flip green here. It could flip green, but the likelihood is, in the best trades are often, now I'm not saying that this is not a buy now. What I am saying is that it looks like a decent buy now, but we do need to be aware and be careful because there's there's 6-7 weeks left into the end of the year, and you can see that any dips down on a new year into here would be buys, and a buying opportunity to then flip up and have a green year to see if it can go higher and do what ZEC done. All right, so it's fighting a red year currently. That's not always easy, but anything can happen. This could flip green, but the safe buy is if we get an opportunity like this next year, right? But where is it going to be in 7 weeks time? If we go back here to the 2-week chart, what it is suggesting is that, well, there's where I drew that, and you could probably move that up slightly just right there, because this is the white 100 moving average. So what it is suggesting is that this looks good now, and maybe it'll go up, but any dips down into this area are probably very good buys, because that would be a yearly wick fill buying area down here. And I could move it up slightly just to let me go back and see this. I don't want to be too negative on it, if you want to call it that. Like, we don't know where that's going to fill. I already drew that candle wrong there, so I don't want to be too negative on it. We don't know where this yearly is going to fill. I could probably move that up even slightly more, because sometimes you don't get huge fills on it, right? And if it does come down to the bottom of the green area, well, so be it, okay? But you don't want to be too negative in case you don't get that. But we want to just kind of see, okay, well, there's a level. Where does that look like on the weekly chart? that is exactly within the apex, right? You can see here the white 100 is right here, and the red 100 is red 200, sorry, is above. So the green box that we drew now with the yearly levels are right inside the apex. So what it is suggesting and saying is that any dips into the apex here, any dips at all, I mean, you could buy some here now if you didn't want to miss it, but any other buys you could be adding on dips down into the apex down in here, because that is suggesting that, you know, that is where the dip level buying is. Anywhere in between the red and the white 100, any dips in there, wicks down or whatever down into this level, look like yearly levels to potentially then start running and flipping green. And if this did actually have a green year, well, green years can often take out these previous highs. So if we look at this, I'll just do that again, just to look at it. I mean, sorry, hold on, I'll hide that actually. So you can kind of see, you know, you would expect this to be taken out here and go even higher. Maybe, is that going to pop up again? No, it's not going to pop up. So you would expect, yeah, you would expect these highs to be taken out. You'd expect these highs to be taken out. So something like this on the yearly, and who knows where it could go then. If you're in a parabolic state, sometimes you can go way higher, right? You just don't know. There's wicks here, there's the highs of the chart. Sometimes you can get really big things if there's a parabolic move. Now, I don't want to get too overly, you know, zealous on it, but we do know what ZEC done in a weekly apex or 2 week apex when it broke up. Now I actually love this yearly chart, potentially love it, because any up move at all, once you break the highs of the previous year, price can go parabolic and price can break out and have a green yearly candle. Okay, now we've seen that in many coins in the past. Of course, it doesn't have to happen, but if you look at any of the parabolic alt seasons or whatever, any of the coins, when you take out the previous years, that's often when you can have the big candles. Now, we don't know that yet. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but that's what you want to see. You want to be looking to position yourself on the lows, and then, you know, if you start to take out these highs, you want to be aware that it's very possible to run pretty hard. Now look at ZEC. ZEC didn't even have a red candle, and it had a green candle here, right? But look when you took out the highs of it, and I'm even going to draw 2 years in it, 2 lines off both years, right? When you took out the highs, yes, it kind of failed here, but it showed that it was prevalent or finding it fairly easy to take out the highs of the previous bar. And you can see then obviously dips back down more a gift, and then we bounced higher. Now we could probably take this back and do it on many coins. Now here's another thing that people don't even realize or understand or whatever. Now look at this chart. Now I want to break this down in a minute. Look at this chart. Now where do we drop back down into? Right, this is the breakout point, and I didn't draw that exactly right, but look where it was supported. You broke up and then you dropped down. Where's the bottom of the bear market? Above the breakout candle. That is a structure, a bullish structure in an uptrend. Okay, it's just a yearly uptrend. It's just an uptrend, right? So this is your breakout point. Okay, and price comes back down and holds it. It's very simple. Now if I go back and show a few other things here, look here. So what happened recently? We broke out here, right? And what happened here? I didn't even draw that, right? What happened there? Look at this. Perfectly, we broke out. Once you break the highs of the candle, the highs of the previous candle, it dipped right back down into support, which was the break of the previous highs. Okay, and that's an uptrend. That's the breakout, and you can see we're still going from that, and we're consolidating. Of course, this is a bearish and bad candle at this point in time. Who knows where that'll go? But this is a bad candle right now. But we're looking at breakouts, and you can see here. What we need to see is altcoins outperforming Bitcoin somehow. I know if Bitcoin drops, often it can be bad for altcoins, but somehow we need to see that that change. It's a change in character when Bitcoin drops and the altcoins don't get completely crushed. We don't know if that'll happen yet. Of course, it's a concern because if Bitcoin drops, it can affect the altcoins. But we need to see that change. And so far, Bitcoin is down, right? Bitcoin, and it's very important to understand that is a start. We have been seeing a change in character. Bitcoin dropped 21%, and some of these altcoins have been mooning. I know there was a flash crash on October 10th, but we have just seen some coins moving. We don't know if it's going to keep up or not, but we need to watch that carefully and see if altcoins can have a green year. Also, look at the breakout here, right? So when you get this bullish engulfing candle, but what's so beautiful about it is, on Ethereum, sorry, I should have just said, when you break out, look at this couldn't break out the highs of this other candle. This didn't break out the highs of the previous. This didn't break the highs of the previous, but what it did do is it created a big candle, a bullish candle with a bullish stop hunt that allowed for the breakout in future, right? And when you broke out the highs of the previous candle, you can see price mooned, okay? And it's very important to understand that concept. These are real breakouts. Now, we don't have that yet, but what I'm saying is XVG on a 6-month candle. What are we doing? We have a bullish stop hunt here, and look at the highs here. So if it opens up on a new, just say it's here, this is XVG, if it opens up on a new quarter, well, if it breaks the highs of the previous candle, it is within a shout to have a parabolic move. Okay, it has a chance of having a parabolic move because it is setting up just like Ethereum setup, similar, not identical, but what it is, you know, if it's going to be bullish, it breaks the highs of the previous candle. That's when you can have a real breakout. So it's, you know, it's important to kind of try and understand it and try and be ready for it. It is a red yearly candle currently, but we can see that we have that pattern on the 6-month chart, that it is trying to be bullish. And look at the 3-month, it is trying to set up. Now look here as well. Look, when you break out the highs of the previous candle, you can go parabolic, right? Small doji candle, it's able to break out the highs of it, boom, parabolic. Even here, you broke out the highs of the doji and you went the whole way up to here. Right, that's a monster move when you take out the highs of the previous candle, and that's what we need to see setting up. 200% to the upside, to 300% to the upside, and we are now setting up for that next leg or next potential move that can go parabolic. So yes, XVG does look very good here. Anyway, mate, yeah, I hope the video helps, and you know, dips are buys into the apex like we talked about. It's possibly a buy right now. But be willing to add lower. It has the red yearly candle, so ideally the buy is on the apex if we can get it, but waiting for that sometimes makes you miss the opportunity. So, you know, we got to watch and see how it plays out. Anyway, mate, yeah, I hope you're well.